And we are live. What is happening? And hello. Let's see here. I think that works good. Can I have this like right in front of my face? But you know, I don't have a pretty enough face that you really want to stare at that anyway. So make me look mysterious. All right, just joking. Good afternoon. It's good to see y'all. I forgot to go live yesterday. I was meaning to, and I do apologize. I had a very special guest in the building. My baby boy. So we spent most of the day watching YouTube and playing Monster Tag. Yeah, we play a game called Monster Tag, Zombie Tag. It's super fun. You can play it with your kids. Kids love the whole zombie thing. It's just regular tag. I started playing this with my boys when they were young, and we would go to parks, especially parks that were like, we had this big castle park area, so we would go to parks and we would play zombie tag there. And the idea is, if you're a zombie, you have to, you can't run, but you got to move fairly slowly, and you have to make zombie noises. You can't pretend you're not a zombie noises. So you have to constantly be like, so everyone knows you're a zombie. And then you have to tag people. And the game is, when you tag somebody, they become a zombie, and now you both are zombies looking for other people to tag until one person is left. And even with fast little kids against fat old guys, it still always ends up, zombies always end up winning. It's a fun game to play. Kids love it, so check it out. Some other parents, though, when you're playing it, are kind of looking like, why are you making these? You probably couldn't play it in 2024, realistically, now that I'm thinking about it. Why are you making zombie noises at my kids? Because we're all playing zombie tag and they're having fun playing it too. So, but yeah, we play that with little Bronson. He hides, and we do that, and it's fun. Love it. So, but today's show, going live. We've been working on getting all our plugins. I do realize that a couple of our feeds weren't feeding. So we've been working on the technical side of trying to make sure that that's working, that you're seeing us on Twitch, that you're seeing us on Twitter. I guess Instagram, you have to, there I am. I'm on Instagram. So you have to actually open the thing and feed it. But we got that all set up. So no matter what platform you're seeing this on, make sure to give a like hit the we should have the tiny links adapted to all the pages soon. So, hit that tiny link, follow us on all the other socials, make sure to go to the website, check out tripsoregon.com, and then, give us a follow, give us a like, buy some merch if you want to help support the channel. We can't necessarily monetize our channel, so it doesn't really matter where we get to or what happens there. We won't be able to monetize it. So please, show some support by purchasing some merch, or, come have some services out here in Oregon. See what we're all about. See what some of the things are and why, this little guy pops up all the time. You know what I mean? He just loves his life, and he's enjoying life. Oh, you probably can't hear that though, because I probably didn't put the right thing on. Yep, see, look at that. Forgot to do that little switch right there. Now you guys can hear. Boom. There it is. We're ready to go. That's a bad joke. Okay. Man, we had a great discussion yesterday. We needed, we were discussing it, and we were like in the middle of the discussion. We were like, why did we not push record? So moving forward, we're working on two things. We're going to start going live every Wednesdays at 4:20. So 4:20 on some Wednesdays, hump day. Join us for a little special show during that time. We'll make sure we stay consistent with that one frame. And then throughout the week, we're just going to go randomly live. So, stay tuned. If you see us live, jump in and say hi. And then also, join the conversation. Today's conversation, we've been getting lots of asks, lots of questions, and I want to talk about this discussion a little bit and make some content on this subject. So today's subject that we're going to be discussing is microdosing. Lots of microdosing discussion out there. Lots of people talking about microdoses, how it changed their lives. All this is great. There's a lot of microdose products out there. So, this is a very multifaceted. Oh, that is such a cool Jeep. Wow. This has got a sorry, I got sidetracked by an amazing car outside. We're not locked in the basement here, so you can find us. But lots of discussion around microdosing, what that is and what it means, and what it does. So we have a microdose program here. We like it for the locals, but in Oregon, that is one of the areas that we're hoping to improve. In Oregon, you have to have a transportation plan. Unfortunately, for microdosing, the transportation plan still applies to microdosing. So what that says is, if you come here and you have a microdose, you still are required to have a transportation plan to leave, which means you have to have somebody pick you up and take you home. And for a subperceptual, that's what a microdose is subperceptual. You're, a good proper microdose, you're not even supposed to feel it. You're just supposed to kind of be awake, present, and just a little bit better mood. But so unfortunately, the microdosing program hasn't really taken off here in Oregon because of that little rule where you have to have that transportation plan. So we've been working on hopefully advising the state from the business perspective of a bunch of service centers on hopefully adjusting this plan to be anything less than 5 milligrams. And hopefully, not need a transportation plan for, or alter a transportation plan to be accepting of somebody being able to go to work after a microdose. Of course, that is, after you go to a microdose or two, you definitely want to know how it affects you at first. And what a microdose really is. And there's a lot of confusion on microdosing too, because in Oregon, we have psilocybin tested on an analyte scale. So it's not by the grams. So most people, when they microdose, they're, and that was something I was looking at too, zero point 0.2 grams. But 0.2 grams is not the same as zero point 0.2 milligrams, right, of analyte. Those are two separate things. 0.2 milligrams of analyte is a little bit more than 0.2 grams of dried mushrooms. And so there's a little bit of a difference there. And so it's finding that perfect dose for you. But, then again, too, one of the things I want to discuss in today's conversation is microdosing and, what it's good for. And microdosing gets a lot of conversation because it's profitable. It's a profitable situation. If I can make you just feel a little bit okay with your life daily, and you gotta come back to me daily for the dose, well, then that's super profitable. But the reality is psilocybin is deeper than that. Like, I like to say it like this. To me, microdosing is a band-aid to the problem. It's going to make you feel okay for a moment. It's going to make you feel okay for a minute. And you'll need another dose tomorrow. But a hero's journey, really diving down, working on what's hurting, what's causing your anxiety, what's causing depression, what has you just kind of offset for life. That is where the real power of the mushroom comes into play. The real power of psilocybin. Because it's when we deal with those inner problems and those inner parts of ourselves that are struggling, we're able to find a balance. And it's inside that balance that we then find ourselves, and we're able to live more, have more, I don't want to say it like that. Like, that's the wrong way of thinking about have more happiness in your life. That's not the way I say it. The way I say it is to actually enjoy the happy moments of your life, to be aware of the happy moments of your life. Because no matter how you feel, you may feel you don't have any happy moments in your life, but I guarantee you there are some there, and you just got to find them, You got to find those happy moments again, and you got to know when to embrace them and when to enjoy them, because happiness is like something that's ever fleeting, and that's why microdosing works as a profitable thing, because if you only take just enough to feel a little bit happy, well, you're going to need to take a little bit more and a little bit more. But if you can find that true balancing to your life, where you are finding that true balance to happiness, and being able to be present and happy in those happy moments, that's a win. And that's a practice. That's something you have to practice constantly. It's something you have to develop. It's something you can do during a psychedelic experience. You can really, run those new neural pathways, really kind of exercise those new neural pathways of thinking. But you got to constantly practice it to put it into your daily life. And even when you got it down and you've been doing it for years, sometimes it falters. Sometimes the world is just a little bit rougher than it should be. And that's just part of life and the part of the journey of life. And it's, understanding that if I'm having to be in a tough, difficult situation, letting that tough, difficult situation be within that time frame, within that time of space of where I'm at. But as soon as I move, as soon as I am done with that situation, I go home, or, I find myself in the next situation, of course we're mentally, wired to constantly be thinking about what could we have done differently in that situation? What could have changed? How could we have moved forward differently? What could I have done differently? But, it's staying in that space that then the anxiety is carrying over into the next moments. And something very beautiful and profound could be happening right in front of you. You could see the beauty of nature right in front of you, or, a good friend telling a great joke, or, a favorite TV show doing something that you want to do, and you not be present for that. And so it's finding that moment to take that and be present. And that's what we're doing in the big journey, the hero's journey, learning these techniques, practicing them within that journey, practicing them during the week of the journey. And then that's where the microdose can actually be truly beneficial. It then carries over that neuroplasticity. So when you do a hero's journey, you're generally neuroplastic for about a week afterwards. And during that week, it's really easy to practice the things you learned in that journey. But after that, it kind of gets a little bit more difficult. The default mode network is waking up. It's saying, slow down, take a second, and, take it easy. Check out, too, I just made a post on some of our socials. Should be coming out soon. Check out our reels. We got a great reel about why I feel psilocybin works. But during that, that's what's happening. That default mode network is finally hitting asleep, which allows all that neuroplastic brain to kind of rerun those patterns. When your default mode network's back up, your brain's like, you know what? We kind of reran this pattern for thinking about this, and this might be a good, effective way. Your default mode network is going to be like, okay, continue to run it. But if it don't work, we're turning it off. And so that's where the microdosing can come into play afterwards and really, continue the journey of healing. But it's not something you got to do for the rest of your life, right? Because after you get running that pattern, you then simply need to run it for 21 days. It's like the neural pathway is like a trail in the woods, right? The more you run that trail in the woods, the finer the trail gets, right? The easier the trail gets. It's not all covered in bush. And so that's what you're wanting to do during, after the sessions, is to, rewire your brain into thinking about things differently, into having different approaches when things come up. And that's the beauty of it. Now, one thing I want to discuss with this, and we discussed it on the earlier program, and we're going to touch a little bit more on it today, because there is a lot of talk about psilocybin, microdosing, and on all of this, right? But there are a lot of companies looking to make a beautiful profit off of this conversation. And they're doing a wonderful job of doing just that, making a profit. But I have to call them on it, because it was one thing when it was cannabis. It was something consumable, something somebody's going to consume constantly, and that's what that is, right? Cannabis is a regular consumable item, right? Mushrooms don't really have that thing. And the thing that I'm asking, is like, envision somebody who is seeking mental health, like, improvements, right? They've heard about these microdosing. They're thinking about microdosing. They're wanting to do some microdosing, and everyone's talking about it. And then they see it at their local gas station. They see it. They hear that it's at their little head shop or little vape shop. And they go buy these products, and they've heard all these wonderful things. They eat these products, and let's just, for the sake of not being a hater today, say that these are not one of the products that the CDC or the FDA is reporting that will make you possibly sick, right? So let's just say one of these products is not one of those products. What's happening there, right? It's not a true psychedelic experience, if one even happens, but a lot of times it doesn't even happen like that. And so now this person who, they were seeking these services, they were seeking out this potential help, and you've given them a placebo. You've given them a fake product, a research product, something that's not even naturally psilocybin, natural psychedelic, or anything like that. And now, they're thinking to themselves, it didn't work. Or, I must be, everyone else says all these wonderful things. It didn't work for me. Or I didn't feel that way. I felt some other way because it was tryptamines instead of psilocybin. The potential's there. You're taking away that person's ability to find alternative health solutions, ones that, a lot of us have found, a lot of us have healed from, and you're exchanging it for a quick buck, and that's, dude, you gotta ask yourself, when will that not be something we're doing every day, right? Today is I don't know. Today must be fucking truck day, because I think that's the 7th or 8th dump truck to drive by the store today. So I do apologize if that's coming through. But, like I said, we're right on 101. That's something we want to represent. We're right here. We're super accessible. So, that's part of the show. Big ass trucks driving by every 5 minutes. So I hope you enjoy that. So, service and OTC are two different animals. Yes, I would very much agree with you there, Nelson. 100%. And, that's part of the journey too. I know this is... I know when I say this, everybody's going to think, well, of course, you own a service center, so of course you're going to feel this way. But I will literally say this, though. Personally, I did not realize how intense of a journey and how profound of a journey I had when I had my first, hero session with a guide. I'd had many hero sessions by myself, being my own guide, found myself lost in the mirror before, in various other forms like that. But it wasn't until I had one of my classmates do a guided session that I really seen the potential for guided sessions. And yeah, even if you're listening to this and you're like, bro, I'm well experienced. Heck, I got a pound of mushrooms in my car right now or whatever. Hopefully you don't have it in your car. Don't have a pound of mushrooms in your car. All right. But wherever you got it, right? Get a guided journey. Try a guided journey. It's with an actual guide who knows the steps, how to get you onto the flow, how to let that default mode network go to sleep, how to integrate your experience, how to follow your themes and understand. It is definitely an eye awakening journey, man. You're damn right, Nelson. Mr. Nelson on one of our feeds says, to be honest, for me anyway, I'm not going to be looking at the gas station for my micro mushrooms. Yes, please don't look at the gas. I always tell too, because I'll get clients from the East Coast calling, and they're kind of just questioning up. And, they're like, well, I could probably find it here. And I'm like, okay, listen to me. You are not going to find mushrooms in a beautiful, brightly colored package that says magic mushrooms on them. Okay? They come from some hippie in some corner gas station with, crinkled up foil. That's what you're looking for if you're not going to come get services. Okay? I'm not advocating to do that, though, because, obviously, right? But yeah, that's what you're looking for. Brightly colored packages that say magic mushrooms or microdoses, are trippy things. Usually tend to be research chemicals or CBD or THCO or some other product that they're just trying to push, that they made in a lab, which consisted of a corner of their warehouse with some stainless steel tables. Nelson, the guide is to shape the experience, and that's what we do as guides. It's to help. And I always tell clients this too. My job as a guide is to guide you, but not necessarily lead you. like, I'll make sure you're running down the right path, but you're in control of the session. So if there's like a particular color that you're not feeling, or the bass and the vibes, the music is just not right to your liking, just say something, and then it's us as guides who are to help kind of guide that different direction, that different path, which is also how we deal with difficult parts of the journey too. If someone's having a very deep moment, deep exploration, and that's something I learned in school, because before doing this for so many years, we wouldn't, if someone was having a bad trip, you were, very much trying to get them out of that bad trip instantly. But being in this space too, we've learned how to allow that to happen, and for a person to be able to kind of explore that dark side, that tough side, that difficult situation from a different perspective, a different mindset, new neural pathways. And then knowing when to pull that kind of back, to change the vibe, to change the flow, so the person can have that experience and what they need to work with. Hopefully gather the notes that we need to know, and then follow that up with integration. And then furthermore, integration follows up into your regular mental health providers, your regular therapists and counselors and stuff like that. Which is great. Right, I'm just reading this up. I like this. Yeah, good mention. It's always fun going and finding the hookups for the mushrooms, to get one. Hopefully you didn't get ripped off, or you didn't get like a super, because back in the day, it was definitely some super eccentric, psychedelic houses. It's all in our legal culture too. But yeah, definitely a lot of super eccentric people. And me as 20 years ago when I was doing this, it was always funny to me, because we'd get our hands on some mushrooms, and we'd do a little round of mushrooms. We'd all have fun, and everybody's like, "Oh man, we want to do that one more time." So then you go and you pick up a bigger order, so you can get more people set up, right? And you go back, and since you got such a big order, you're all excited, and you're like, "Okay, yeah," and you hook up the few friends, and then you're like, "Okay, well, are we doing this again?" And everybody's like, no, I think I found what I needed. And so as a hustler, would always go, you'd pick up one order, you'd sell that one, you might sell the second one, but the third one you were setting on it. You were, it was going in the safe. 6 months to a year later, somebody's like, "Ooh, we should get our hands on some mushrooms," and then you'd bring them out. But it'd be interesting. One thing we do know about mushrooms is, the psilocybin actually breaks down to air, to oxygen. And so having mushrooms grounded or powdered does not last as long as it being in its natural form. A study has been shown, that's actually something we should talk about too. Yeah. One of the things we should discuss too is, psilocybin and how it converts to psilocin. There's a company that wants to study the. I wish I could bring that up. That would be a great thing to pop up. That's what we're going to do in this little episode. So there's a great company, and he wants to study how long psilocybin lasts, right? So let's see here. I don't know if I could actually bring it up. Yeah, I might not be able to find it. It might be a little too deep. Let me see here. So this company would like to study psilocybin and its effects long term, like what the rate is. Yeah, I'm gonna find that study and we'll talk about that. I'll pull the study up for you guys one day, but I can't do it today because I just don't have the right screen. I think I should switch those. If I switch those, that would work better. All right, but there's a company. It's Rose City Labs. You could always look it up, and they did a study on. They want to do a study on what the degradation of psilocybin is over time, right? Over a long period of time. Unfortunately, there's like some legalities that they can't do, so they're trying to get permission to do that. But one of the studies that they did do that I think was great was a study on lemon tech. Now, everybody knows about lemon tech. Everybody's super excited. The idea is that if you put your mushrooms in lemons, it will make them stronger. Back in my day, the theory was that the vitamin C would increase your high and you would trip way harder. The science behind it is actually a little bit different. What it is the acidic the acidic form of citric acid actually converts the psilocybin into psilocin. So your liver doesn't have to convert the psilocybin into psilocin. Therefore, it hits faster and more kind of all at once because it's not processing in your liver. So it does make it seem like it hits higher and all this, but scientifically, it has the exact same amount of psilocin as psilocybin before, right? And that's what's going on there. And so you have Rose City, which did this great study, and God, man, I wish I could pull it. Let's see if I could. Hang on one second. Let's see if I could find it on here. Whew. Yeah, Nelson. Yeah, I agree with you there. I love me some LSD occasionally too. And I get it. Yeah, penicillin and the allergic to penicillin, that's definitely something to be aware of. The mushrooms definitely, they have chitin in them, and the chitin definitely does not go good with some people's stomachs. Some people process it just fine. Some people don't. But yeah, that could always be an issue. Let's see if I could pull this up. Let's see if I can find the study here, pop it up there. Because this, I really want to talk about. Nope. Man, oh man. It's see if I can find it online. Yeah, what's up?
Sorry to bother you. I don't know if you're busy.
Yeah.
Can I grab those scissors for a second?
Shooting live. Boom. Let's see if I can find this. Yeah, unfortunately they're not. I don't think they're gonna have it on there. Oh man, I didn't think I was gonna get into this conversation today, but I really want to share this with you guys, but I can't find it. So I'm just gonna tell you what I know and wrap it up. So, and then I'll actually maybe post it on my website so you can find it, and you can find my website right there. So go to my website. I'll make sure to post it on there afterwards so you can check it out. But what it is was we're studying lemon tech and the potentials for lemon tech, and what lemon tech looks like and what lemon tech could possibly do. And so the funny thing was two things they did in the study. They did a study to test, because we always thought boiling was the worst, and we would boil it for a long time, right? So we found out that was completely wrong. Actually, boiling water over it super fast just converted the psilocybin to psilocin quicker, and more of it stayed in the product. And then on top of that, the best tech. I'm going to blow your mind, and we're going to end this real quick. The best tech is not lemon tech. What converts more psilocybin to psilocin is Coca-Cola. Coke tech. Yeah, explain that one. And that's where we're going to leave the episode. Is right there. So, I guess the mushrooms really do enjoy the Coke. Bad joke. All right. So, take us out, Mushroom Love. Get your little dance going on here. And we're going to call it the end of the show. My name's Willie T. If you got more questions, feel free to reach out. Follow us on any of our channels. Hit us up. If you guys want to come on, let me know. We can Zoom you in. You can also come to Newport for a beautiful weekend. Enjoy the coast. Enjoy the lighthouses. Enjoy all the fun stuff. And just have a good time. So, my name's been Willie T. You guys have a good one.